They said she should be dead. Falling 10,000 feet from the sky without a parachute isn't something you survive. But somehow, Julianne Kuipka did. This is the real story of a girl who fell from the clouds and lived. Welcome to I Should Be Dead. Real people, unreal survival, and one rule: they lived. It was Christmas Eve, 1971. Julianne Kuipka was 17 years old, flying with her mother aboard Lancer Flight 508. They were headed from Lima, Peru to a remote research station deep in the Amazon. Julianne's parents were both zoologists, and she'd grown up among wildlife and wilderness. She wasn't afraid of the jungle. She just wanted to get there in time for the holidays. But halfway through the flight, disaster struck. The plane flew straight into a thunderstorm. Lightning lit up the cabin. Turbulence shook the fuselage. Luggage crashed from overhead. Passengers screamed. And then, a blinding flash. The lightning struck the plane directly, ripping it apart mid-air. At 10,000 feet above the rainforest, Julianne was thrown from the wreckage, still strapped to her seat. No parachute, no hope. And then, silence. Julianne plummeted through the storm, through clouds, wind, and rain, but something incredible happened. The row of seats she was strapped to spun like a helicopter blade, slowing her descent. And the dense jungle canopy below, layer after layer of branches and vines, acted like a massive net, cushioning her fall just enough. She hit the forest floor with a thud, unconscious, broken, alive. When Julianne woke up the next day, she was alone. Her collarbone was broken, one eye swollen shut, she had deep cuts, a concussion, and no sign of rescue. Around her, nothing but endless rainforest. Heat, insects, rain, the distant sound of howler monkeys. She had no supplies, no food, no shoes. But she had one thing going for her: survival instincts. Julianne had spent her childhood learning the jungle. She remembered what her father taught her: follow water, it leads to civilization. So she did. For days she staggered through the Amazon, wading through streams and swatting away mosquitoes. She drank dirty water, fought off infection. At night she curled up under leaves as the jungle came alive with predators. And then came the maggots. A wound on her arm became infected. Squirming white larvae filled the gash. Julianne poured gasoline from a found can onto it, burning them out. She didn't scream. She didn't stop. She just kept walking. On the 10th day, weak and delirious, Julianne stumbled upon a log shelter. Inside, jungle workers. She'd made it. They treated her wounds, gave her food, and sent for help. Julianne was rescued by air, the only survivor of Flight 508. Out of 92 passengers and crew, she was the one who lived. Julianne Kuipka went on to become a scientist, just like her parents. She returned to the Amazon many times, not in fear, but in fascination. She never called herself brave. She never thought of herself as lucky. She just kept walking. They said she should be dead, but she lived. If you enjoyed this story, consider liking and subscribing for more true survival tales. This is I Should Be Dead, where every story ends the same way. They lived.